Identifying old electrical components can be tricky, especially in homes built many years ago. Without a visual or a more detailed description, it's difficult to pinpoint exactly what that component is. However, we can discuss the general types of electrical devices that might be found in a house built in 1932 and some safety considerations when dealing with them. Homes built in the early 20th century often used wiring methods and materials that are no longer considered safe by today's standards. Some common wiring systems from that era include knob and tube wiring and early forms of armored cable, sometimes called BX cable. Knob and tube wiring consists of single insulated wires run through walls and ceilings, supported by porcelain knobs and tubes. The insulation on these wires can become brittle and cracked over time, posing a shock and fire hazard. The X cable, while offering some protection with its metallic sheathing, can also deteriorate and become dangerous. The insulation inside the cable can break down, and the metal sheath can become a ground path if it's not properly grounded. Regarding the component being 6 inches away from a duplex receptacle, several possibilities exist. It could be an old fuse box, a junction box, a switch, or even part of an obsolete appliance. Fuse boxes were commonly used to protect circuits from overloads. These boxes contained fuses that would blow or melt when the current exceeded a safe level, interrupting the circuit and preventing a fire. Junction boxes are used to enclose wire connections. They provide a safe and organized way to splice wires together. Switches control the flow of electricity to lights and outlets. Older switches may have different designs and mechanisms than modern switches. Now let's discuss safety precautions when dealing with old electrical systems. Firstly, always turn off the power to the circuit before working on any electrical component. This can be done by switching off the appropriate circuit breaker or removing the fuse at the main electrical panel. Secondly, use a voltage tester to verify that the power is indeed off before touching any wires or terminals. Voltage testers are inexpensive and readily available at hardware stores. Thirdly, wear appropriate personal protective equipment, including rubber-insulated gloves and safety glasses. This will help protect you from electric shock and arc flashes. Fourthly, never attempt to repair or modify old wiring yourself unless you are a qualified electrician. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it's best left to professionals who have the training and experience to do the job safely. Fifthly, if you suspect that your home has knob and tube wiring or other outdated wiring systems, have it inspected by a licensed electrician. They can assess the condition of the wiring and recommend any necessary repairs or upgrades. Sixthly, be aware of the signs of electrical problems, such as flickering lights, burning smells, or warm outlets or switches. These could indicate a loose connection, an overloaded circuit, or other issues that need to be addressed. Seventhly, install ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, in areas where water is present, such as bathrooms, kitchens, and laundry rooms. GFCIs are designed to detect small imbalances in the electrical current and quickly shut off the power, preventing electric shock. Eighthly, use arc fault circuit interrupters, or SIs, to protect circuits from arc faults, which are a common cause of electrical fires. SIs can detect arc faults and shut off the power before a fire starts. Ninthly, make sure that all electrical outlets and switches are properly grounded. Grounding provides a path for electricity to flow safely back to the electrical panel in the event of a fault, preventing electric shock. Tenthly, avoid overloading electrical circuits. Overloading can cause wires to overheat and start a fire. Check the amperage rating of the circuit breaker or fuse and do not plug in more devices than the circuit can handle. 11thly, use extension cords sparingly and never run them under rugs or furniture, where they could overheat. 12thly, keep flammable materials away from electrical panels and outlets. 13thly, have your electrical system inspected regularly by a qualified electrician to ensure that it is in good working order. 14thly, consider upgrading your electrical panel if it is old or outdated. Older panels may not have enough capacity to handle the demands of modern appliances and electronics. 15thly, be careful when working around electrical wires, especially when drilling holes or hammering nails. Always check the location of wires before starting any work. 16thly, if you are unsure about anything related to electricity, consult with a qualified electrician. They can provide expert advice and assistance. It's crucial to understand that electrical systems evolve over time, and older systems may not meet current safety standards. Homes built in 1932 would likely have had significantly lower electrical demands compared to modern homes. The number of appliances and electronic devices we use today has increased dramatically, placing a greater load on electrical systems. Therefore, it's essential to ensure that older electrical systems are properly maintained and upgraded to meet these increased demands and ensure safety. When dealing with any unknown electrical component, it's always best to err on the side of caution. Do not attempt to disassemble or repair the component yourself unless you are a qualified electrician. Instead, contact a professional who can properly identify the component and assess its condition. They can also advise you on the best course of action, whether it's repair, replacement, or removal. Remember, electricity is a powerful force that can be dangerous if not handled properly. Always follow safety precautions and consult with a qualified electrician when dealing with electrical systems. The safety of you and your family depends on it. Let's also talk about some specific potential components that could be considered in the time period. One possibility is an old-style dimmer switch. LED dimmer switches often used a rheostat to control the brightness of lights. These rheostats could be bulky and generate heat. Another possibility is a doorbell transformer. Doorbell transformers step down the voltage from the standard household voltage, usually 120 volts, to a lower voltage, typically 12 volts or 24 volts, for the doorbell circuit. These transformers can be mounted near an outlet. It could also be a part of an old radio antenna system. In the 1930s, many homes had antennas for receiving radio signals. The component could be a grounding block or a connection point for the antenna wire. Without more information, it's impossible to say for sure what the component is. However, by following the safety precautions and seeking professional help when needed, you can ensure that your home's electrical system is safe and reliable. Remember safety first.